Another day at Wimbledon and a great day for my bracket because Iga, my champion on the women's, she won her match. And on the men's, Jannik Sinner looking dominant as ever. Straight sets, very easy for him. And he looks extremely good on day 6.
That's right, JG. Day 6 in the books, and it wasn't even really a crazy Super Saturday. It was more like a straightforward Saturday for a lot of the competitors out there today. A lot of straight sets wins on the men's and the women's. There were a few longer matches mixed in. Sonego playing over 5 hours, Cilic going to 4. And we had Belinda Bencic on the women's. She went all the way to a super tie break to get through against Coccialetto. But I think we can only start in one place and one place only. And this is the two big guys on the top side of the men's draw, Novak Djokovic and Jannik Sinner, both in action today. And we should celebrate the fact that Novak Djokovic now has 100 Wimbledon wins. Come on, he's done it at Roland Garros. Now he's done it at Wimbledon. And what a performance. He absolutely obliterated Kecmanovic. This wasn't even close. We said that it was going to be like this. He'd pretty much like a bye through to the next round, and he bageled him in the second set. It just wasn't even competitive, really. I thought Djokovic looked incredible in this matchup, but against what opposition, really? A fellow Serb who he knows so well. Even Viktor Troicki, one of his good friends, was the coach of Kecmanovic, and he said, I hope that I don't ever have to play with him in the opposition box ever again.
It was insane. I didn't mention him in the intro just to try and rile a few of you up, especially you, Ben. But Djokovic deserves a lot of praise. He was phenomenal today. His best performance of the championship so far. He has arrived at the tournament in style. We saw the fantastic point he was able to produce, rolling around the grounds, rolling back the Davidovich Fokina years. And I thought on the performance of today, he can create a good match against Jannik Sinner. Obviously, I'm winding on into the future, but I don't see any other alternative. For me, Sinner's there. Djokovic would be the one. I'm not so sure, but based on what I've seen, I can't see how he's not going to make it there. He's looking very good. And is this level of Novak Djokovic today enough to beat a Jannik Sinner? It's tough. I think if it was the draw was the other way around and he was on the side of Alcaraz, I think there's maybe more chance Djokovic beats an Alcaraz in the semi-final here at Wimbledon than he would do a Jannik Sinner. But that's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. And another record Djokovic broke was the most bagels at Grand Slam level.
Wow. That's impressive. I didn't expect
51, I think.
That is impressive. Kecmanovic is a good player. I feel like Djokovic just has his number, though, completely. And the way that he dispatched him, it just wasn't even like somebody of his ranking, Kecmanovic, it seemed. It just a complete domination. Credit to Djokovic. I saw that they put out this, well, it was like a little video as well. He was talking about why his ball toss is so important to his game as well. I don't know if you saw this. And he explained why. And he just said, you just want to get on the practice court and just see if you can throw the ball to the exact same point every time. And they're showing Djokovic's serve quality over the years. And this year it's the most it's ever been. And he can always throw it at the same point. And because he can get the service toss at the same point every time, he says it just makes it so unpredictable where he's going to serve. And that's the one thing he said, you got to have your opponent uncomfortable at all times. So Djokovic serving his best ever he's ever done at Wimbledon right now, and that's going to help him. The age obviously plays a factor in the movement and all that, but if you're serving like this, you have a very good chance.
Yeah. Trying to answer my question though, Ben, can he beat a Jannik Sinner in a semi-final? Because it's a nice segue onto Jannik Sinner. And I think it's fitting the fact that he was asked about Jannik Sinner in the press conference. It was one of the first questions he was asked. And I thought it was interesting how he was comparing his style to what Yannick Sinner is, in the sense that Sinner has modeled a lot of his game on Novak Djokovic, and Djokovic is, he said he can clearly see it in the way he plays, takes the ball early. And well, you can see here, I do. It's obvious in terms of the style of play that we both have. We both have quite a bit of similarities. We try to be aggressive, take the ball early, dominate the exchanges from the baseline. I remember him as a really young 13 or 14-year-old kid when I met him and hit some balls with him. He was skinny and tall. And then he went on to say how he was also very much like that, skinny and tall as well. And then he went on at the end saying, as much as everyone talks about the speed of his shots, the timing is incredible. And that was a big part for me, because Yannick Sinner has always hit the ball very well. And it's always sounded very good to the ear. He's just struggled, I think, with the physicality of being able to produce it for long spells of time. And I don't think his timing was as good as what it is right now. You put all that together, his serve's a lot more dominant. He's a well-rounded player. Technically, I don't think we've ever doubted Yannick Sinner. It was clear. And Djokovic was saying how he looked at him as a top player from early. And his coach, so let's get on to that bit. He was working a few years with Riccardo Piatti, who used to be my coach. I have a great relationship with him. That's how I met Yannick. Riccardo had asked me to give advice and give guidance. We would talk quite a bit. I would always be happy to share. It's amazing to see his journey and how good he's become and a dominant force in men's tennis. It was a very sincere, nice answer from him. And also Yannick Sinner in his press conference speaking about a few bits. I thought that was both press conferences were very interesting. And I think I do see more of Djokovic's game in Yannick Sinner than any other player, which bodes well because he has broken all the records. He's completed tennis. And if Sinner can model it on anyone, Novak Djokovic is the best player to do it on.
Definitely. I definitely see the similarities. And that's why it's so tough for Djokovic, I think, when he comes up against Sinner right now, because it's sort of like a mirror image of him, but younger. And when you're playing against somebody who's pretty much got all the tricks, got the same tricks, but except for you're younger and you've got better movement, it's going to be tough to beat someone like him. I feel that on this surface is the best chance for Djokovic because of the serve. Mainly the serve is the key thing, really, isn't it? Like if you were able to get to a tiebreak, you've always got a chance on grass. And I think Djokovic's serve is that good. He really does stand a chance against someone like a Yannick Sinner at Wimbledon. If he plays like he played today and he keeps on winning in straight sets and not really having too many games dropped along the way, who's to say? Like, I mean, I think Yannick Sinner, he's playing incredible tennis as well. You can see this stat on the screen. He's now at the top, like, of the Wimbledon stats. Among the top seeds at the event, Yannick Sinner has now conceded the fewest games en route to the men's fourth round at Wimbledon in the Open era, surpassing Roger Federer. He's only conceded 17 games. Roger was with 19 in 2004. Yeah, it's a scary prospect right now, Yannick Sinner. And the level of opposition today just not that high. I mean, Pedro Martinez is good, but it's just not a grass court player whatsoever, and he made it look easy.
I mean, it didn't help today. Pedro Martinez was carrying some kind of shoulder problem, which was impacting his serve. Sinner would have beaten him regardless of that, but I think it made it a more one-sided affair because of it. And centre court was probably a bit disappointed. Sinner only lost 5 games. Iga only lost 5 games. Djokovic, well, it wasn't even a match either against Kecmanovic. And the outside courts, they had a little bit more value today in the sense that all of the ones on centre was straightforward. Is this another tweet you've got up here?
And that was just the one about Sinner, and
he's done that one.
Yeah, he's only dropped, well, it's the fewest number of games leading up to this point. I just thought, yeah, I agree with you. Not a great day if you had centre court tickets. Just too easy. And this is what you sort of see when you get to around the round 3 stage in a slam. And these players who didn't have much grass court warm-up, like Djokovic, like Sinner, now they really starting, just seeing them, they're coming into their own. And you start seeing the straight sets wins against higher opposition as well. Like you saw Dimitrov came through despite how often
I don't know
was
if you can
playing.
involve Sinner in this though, Ben, because Sinner beats everyone. Doesn't
He
need
lost to
preparation.
Bublik and Haller.
Yeah,
That's
but
what I'm
he's
saying.
just. But I'm talking about at slam level. He
Yeah,
loses to Alcaraz.
but he didn't have the warm up coming in. Djokovic didn't play a
But would he have
tournament.
lost to Bublik in a best of 5 format? If
Probably
one was
not.
best of 5, probably not.
Probably not. Yeah, in a slam they raised the
In a
level.
slam, it's different. It's a
You wouldn't have
different
to play
sport,
Bublik
different
in those
game.
early rounds anyway. That's the whole point.
Well, he
So
could have, maybe. Draper
no,
almost got him.
no, you'd have him in round 3 earliest, probably. That's the thing. But by round 3, he's good already. He played Nardi Vukic. That's the warm up, and then Martinez, even better, another warm up. Now he gets Dimitrov. Finally, somebody of a high caliber who's still probably going to beat in straight sets. Let's
I
be
don't think
honest.
that is a nice matchup, Dimitrov.
Yeah, it is a nice match.
Because Dimitrov is the guy who beats everyone else, but then when he comes up against the top, he loses. It reminds me of a Pegula on the women's. Maybe not so much because Pegula seems to lose to other players too. I wanted to ask you a question. Obviously, my 2 champions at Wimbledon, Iga and Sinner, both in action today, both phenomenal. Are you a bit worried that you are going to lose yet another prediction competition versus me at a Grand Slam level? Because
really.
are you looking at this thinking Iga's going to win this Wimbledon, and you're looking at the men's thinking Sinner's got it all wrapped up?
I still think that it's very open on the women's. Oh, despite Rebecca going out, that helped Iga a lot.
That's what I was saying. I said it
but
yesterday. All I need is Iga to win comfortably, Rebecca to go out tomorrow. I'll put my feet up and I'll celebrate beating you in another women's bracket.
But let's not ignore the fact that just because Rebecca has gone out, she's had to be beaten by somebody who's playing pretty well in Clara Towson. And Clara Towson, she won this match fair and square and beat a good in-form Rebecca. So coming up against Clara Towson won't be an easy walk in the park either for Iga. So I think she needs to watch her P's and Q's. Towson's having probably her best season on tour as a competitive player against some of the top players on the women's side. So if she gets past Towson as well, then yeah, I think everybody needs to really wake up, because I'm not sure who out there is really in the way, really, of Iga right now. All the players are dropping out bit by bit, and we've got Sabalenka at the top. She's facing Mertens next. We've got Mirra Andreeva, who's playing very well, so we should make a note that she's been winning fairly comfortably as well and going through. We've got Samsonova. She's been looking good too. She's been having a good grass court swing. Navarro did pretty well. She knocked out the reigning champ, Barbora Krejcikova. But there's a few players still in there. Laura Seichman, she's still in there. Who knows? But Sabalenka, obviously, still the heavy favourite for me for Wimbledon.
Who are you cheering on? Who do you have in the semi-final? I know your finalists are out.
Cartel, obviously, I'm cheering on. Any
Do you have her in
Brit?
the semis?
I don't know.
For your bracket, is there anyone left who can get you some points?
No, probably not. Cartel probably is the main one, I'd say. Looking down the actual list, I don't think there's many others. Samsonova maybe to go a little bit further, but other than that, no. I think my women's bracket is pretty much dead in the water right now.
And you're all riding on Carlos Alcaraz on the men.
I think I've lost that. Yeah, but the one thing you got to remember on the men's side as well is the draw. And let me bring up the draw for you, just so that you're aware of what's actually going on the top half of the draw. Because not only is there Djokovic there, like Sinner has to get past one. It would have to be Dimitrov. Then I'm assuming Ben Shelton, who's playing pretty well, he's probably going to get past Sonego, because Sonego just played 5 hours against Nakashima. And then we get the great matchup. Shelton Sinner is a brilliant matchup, especially on grass, especially with that serve. And that's a dangerous matchup for Jannik Sinner. I think he's one of the only players who can actually hang with Jannik Sinner in a baseline rally on the tour. Obviously, Alcaraz, Djokovic. But I think this surface suits Shelton down to the ground. And
and I think it's a good point, and you're clinging on to something there, which is right to do so, because Sinner, it does have a lot tougher draw than what an Alcaraz does, and it is a very significant difference as well.
Djokovic. Look at all these great Kaboli as well. Look at Kaboli today. Beat Mensik in straight sets. This is an insane top half right now. They're all amazing in form.
You must be worried then for Novak Djokovic.
I'd say I'm happy that it's De Minaur's playing next. That's the main one out of everybody that I think probably the player he can beat. So I'd be worried probably against the next two, though. I think I'd be more worried about Cilic than I would, though, Kaboli for some reason, because Cilic has that experience and he's just got that hard-hitting, flat power, which worries me, because when you see someone like that hitting through the ball, there's not really anything you can do about it. Like that, he either wins the point or not, and it's up to him. It's on his racket. Yeah, worries me a little bit. But if Djokovic can get past De Minaur and work out the serve of maybe Cilic, and Kaboli could be like a deer in the headlights, maybe playing at that type of stage.
I think Kaboli's going to beat Cilic. So
it's possible. He's playing so well. Well, the Italians are just having a great time, aren't they? Look at this. All at the top half. Sinner, Sonego and Kaboli right there at the top. They're fair play to the Italians. We need
Why are you saying Kaboli? What's happened here? You've changed his name.
Well, that's what they've been saying. So I'm just
You've been watching tennis. All of a sudden, you just changed his name on there.
What's his...
For me, it's Kaboli.
Kaboli, potato, tomato.
It's like Rinda Kanesh.
Oh, yeah, old Rinderneck. He's out now, so I don't have to say his name anymore. But yeah, it is a tough...
Camille Madzazak, is he still in?
Yeah, I still don't know if that's what his name is actually. Like, I've heard them saying that a different way as well. He's playing Karen Hachanov next. That will be an entertaining one. Jari Nori, they're two easier names to say. Rublev Alcaraz. Don't see that being too much trouble.
Don't see it being much of a problem. I think a lot of eyes are on that top half of the draw.
Yeah.
But Sinner, because he's that good, I just feel all right still. I really do. Obviously, if he was on the bottom half, then it's just like guaranteed. Because the difference with Alcaraz and Sinner is Alcaraz has this ridiculous ability to just randomly lose a set against anyone. I honestly think with Alcaraz sometimes you could put him up against you, he might lose a set, and then he'll just obviously blitz you. He's got this weird knack of he just got this weird knack of all of a sudden just giving a set away and then turning into an absolute beast. And for the record, everyone keep getting on to me about my Alcaraz views. I love Carlos Alcaraz. I really do. Ben will tell you, I always speak about him off stream. Maybe it comes across a bit like that on here, but I generally really like him. He's a crazy talent, someone who I think is going to probably... Well, I think I had him top number one end of the year. So I think he's got so much potential to be the number one spot. I just feel Sinner's more robotic and more consistent, and he doesn't have the moments and lapses of concentration where he just loses his ability to play tennis every now and then.
Yeah, it is weird, but that's why people love him, because it does add more drama to tennis matches when you see a player when they're down and have to fight their way back. And Sinner doesn't have that. It's just this nice, clean wins, just nice straight sets. Djokovic, even though he does win in straight sets a lot, he still has a little element of the Alcaraz sometimes in him where he can just drop a set here and there. Yeah, it is very difficult.
Most players do have that, though. Just Sinner doesn't.
In a 5-set match, it's hard not to have a dip where you could potentially drop a set. And yeah, I think, well, you saw Cilic today. He dropped a set against Juan Munar. Entertaining match, but Cilic still going through the tournament as well. He's up against Kaboli in the next round, the 22nd seed. Not many seeds going out today. Was it just Rybakina, or were there more? No, Kotikova as well.
Nah, but it's not a big... I think the big shock result would have been Rybakina, but I wasn't that shocked personally.
Yeah, I wasn't too shocked either. I like the fact that Ben Shelton's playing well, though. He had this to say afterwards on court. He said, "My sister's here. She's been here for every match I've played. She's been the lucky charm, but she has to go back to work in the US starting Monday. She works for Morgan Stanley." The crowd were booing her going back home to the US, and he was like, "Hey, come on now!" And then he did a shout out to Morgan Stanley to see if he could get her some more time off work just to stay in London, which was, I like Ben Shelton. His interviews are actually like, he thinks on his feet. He doesn't get like too nervous. He's got a good personality. He's got a good bit of chat. I like him.
Yeah, I've always liked Ben Shelton. Djokovic fans don't seem to like him, or Djokovic himself. I think some people can get a bit frustrated by his overconfidence, but there's a fine line between arrogance and confidence, and I think he's treading the line quite well.
Yeah, I think so too. Let's move over to the women's side, and with Krejcikova losing, obviously she's the reigning champ coming into this tournament. This is now, these are the stats for the past champions at the last 7 championships. So Krejcikova, obviously last year's champ, she lost in round 3 this year. The one before, Vondrousova, she lost in round 2 the next year. We had Rybakina, after she won it, she lost in round 3. And all of the ones before that all retired.
You know what I'm laughing at? 2019 and 2021, I think you picked Halep and Barty to win Wimbledon. And in the middle, you had it. I think you had them winning. I remember the Halep one 100%.
I think
that was in your bracket.
To win 2021, probably.
You had them winning, and then they lost in the opening round. You had Serena Williams as well, and she slipped over.
Oh, yeah, that was tragic. That was horrible.
I used to love some of your OG women's Wimbledon.
I think I had like Kerber and Serena in the final.
No, historically, if we was to go through it, your women's Wimbledon picks, I'm gonna produce a list for the next episode. They've been famous.
Yeah, they are famous. I think I've
was it Kudermetova winning one year as well? Was that Wimbledon?
Nah, that was Australian Open. I think the women's generally are just terrible. I don't think the only one I've ever always got right was Iga winning Roland Garros for the past few years. That one, not really like difficult to pick that one. This year I didn't have her winning it, and yeah, I still didn't get the winner right, but still I had a closer Roland Garros bracket.
Mirra Andreeva, do you want to speak about her? Because I feel we've not spoke about her at all.
Yes, we should speak about Mirra Andreeva because she's actually been playing incredible tennis and a very likable person who we always say, oh, she doesn't get enough coverage. They're not covering her.
Then we don't
we've not covered her either. So here we go. I've got a quote from her after in her press conference. And she was talking about Roger Federer is the player who has the greatest insight on and knowledge of the game. When he was down in the score, his face didn't change, never. And then people are comparing her to Roger Federer by the sounds of it.
What amazes me with her is her age and how she's able to transition her game between all the surfaces like effortlessly.
Yeah.
When you look at other young players, Coco Gauff, she was very good early stages at Wimbledon, but then faltered a bit maybe at Roland Garros. Now she's really good at Roland Garros. Now not so good on the grass. A bit up and down. It seems like Mirra Andreeva is like a consistently high level on all of them. And I'm not just picking Coco Gauff up. You could say that about every single young player. Across the men's too. Jack Draper, was all right at grass. Now he's struggling to get used to it because he's more confident on the other surfaces. And it seems like for me, I don't know, she's just good at all of them and doesn't seem to ever drop her level on any surface. And that's something which is so hard to do. The grass especially, because I think it's the hardest court or surface to master because there's not much practice you get on it. The swing's so short. But yet she's here competing, looking fantastic. And she's only really been losing to top players in these big events. So a lot of them have gone out.
Yeah.
It's a good opportunity.
It's a massive opportunity for her.
She's full of confidence.
I was thinking Roland Garros was probably going to be the one where she was really turning up, but the draw is opening up for Mirra Andreeva right now. And let's have a quick look to see where she is in the draw and who she has next. So she has Emma Navarro next, which still a winnable match. And
Yeah.
then after that, it could be Alexandrova or Bencic. Another winnable match, either of those two.
Yeah, these winnable matches are a bit of a curse, though. You said that the other day about Osaka Pavlyuchenkova. You're like, well, that's another winnable match, and then she lost. So
Still on the women's, they're all winnable matches.
Winnable matches either way.
Exactly.
But let's wrap it up there anyway. Have you got anything else to go through, or is that it?
Just to do a quick shout out to some of the other people who obviously won. We got Jessica Balzas Maniello is the first Spanish player in the Open era to reach her maiden women's singles Grand Slam fourth round at Wimbledon. A bit of a shock, to be honest. Didn't expect to see Balzas Maniello to get that far, but yeah, she's now facing Samsonova in the next round. Will that be the end of the line for her? I reckon I'm going for Samsonova for that one. But just to finish up, we're just going to speak about quickly just who's on tomorrow, because we just want to know which tennis is coming up. And here we go. Here is the Sunday schedule. Khachanov, Majlazak. And then we've got Fritz versus Thompson, Jarry, Norrie, and then Rublev, Alcaraz to finish off. And on the women's side, we've got Sierra, Siegemann. We've got Kartau. Come on, Kartau versus Pavlyuchenkova. Sabalenka Mertens, could that be a banana skin? Mertens, such a strange player. And Noskova versus Anisimova.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Sierra Siegemann. Siegemann favourite on this one, and she's roaring through the draw. Watch out for her. Sorry, I was going to say Nari. Jarry Norrie, I think on paper has the ability to be a 5-set match.
Yeah,
I'm not sure which way it's going to go, but I think it's got some legs in that one. I have a feeling Norrie's going to edge it, but who knows? Anyway, let's wrap it up. It's 1 o'clock in the morning here in the UK. If you haven't already, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and hopefully Ben can stop talking about Balzas Monero.
Maybe I will. Djokovic all the way from now.
See you tomorrow.